Joining us now, our third guest via the Deseret First Credit Union hotline is Jason Franchuck, formerly of the Provo Daily Herald, now doing awesome things for the Albany Times-Union as a reporter. Jason, welcome to the show, man.
Fellas, always good to hear from the 801. Just talked to Ben Bagley, too, and it's funny, I still have my cell phone number, so when I'm calling people out here, sometimes I have to call twice because they think I'm a telemarketer or something. Nobody recognizes the 801 number, so I was happy to talk to you guys, and I pick up, and I still miss Utah. I love Utah, and I hope everything's going well for you guys.
Well,
decent, very well, yeah.
Well, BYU lost by 8 at Utah, so not
Other than that,
not so great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Besides, I've only been kind of following that game on Twitter. I do a lot of work for Bleacher Report, so I was actually following Duke, Indiana last night, and I'll tell you what, Utah's really good this year. I think BYU's going to get them. Really, I know nothing except for what I've seen on Twitter. I'm surprised to see
That's
what
dangerous.
Nick Emery's going with there, but I think BYU's going to be a better team than people understand right now. It's just going to take some time. They've got so many new guys.
Okay, so you were at the Westchester Knicks game yesterday, and is Jimmer Mania back, Jason?
Not back. It's actually really interesting, guys. He was drafted by the Westchester Knicks, so part of the D League. And then rather than reporting to them right away, as it appeared he would, he got an opportunity to go back in the NBA with New Orleans. And the Pelicans, as you guys might know, had an odd opportunity to sign an extra player because they had so many injuries, especially along the guard line. Well, Jimmer ended up going there for 9 days, didn't even get off the bench. And I asked him about it yesterday, and he said he was surprised. He went back because he thought he was going to get playing time, and that's been the big issue at this point in his career is he's hardly played. He needs minutes, just like a baseball player needs at-bats and might get sent back to the minors. So I missed Monday's game. That was his official opener in Westchester. I actually had family in town for Thanksgiving and couldn't make it down, but Wednesday worked out to be really good because it was an 11 a.m. game. They actually had the arena, a 5,000-seat place full of kids. It was kind of a matinee game. They gave tickets to local schools. And it was also a big anti-bullying campaign. And if you know Jimmer at all, he's been largely into that with the Fredette Family Foundation and everything. So you'd think he'd be at home, but it was interesting when they announced him, guys, hardly any extra ovation than what any other player received. So young kids don't quite understand Jimmer Mania. He's playing well. He scored 59 points in 2 games. When I saw him yesterday at 22. But the bigger thing to the Knicks is, he's drawing attention. He's moving the ball around. But he's not used to getting big minutes right now. He's played about 80 at this point, and he wore down in the last minutes. He missed 3 shots that really could have really helped Westchester come back from an 18-point deficit. He airballed a little runner with about a minute left, and he looks sore. He looks tired. So this is not the Jimmer BYU fans know, the guy who played about 39 minutes, 35 to 38 minutes, I guess, as a college senior. So he's nowhere near what he used to be, but it's interesting. He's 26 years old, guys. It's amazing how time flies, and this is really his last shot. He's really trying to latch onto the Knicks, who have an open roster spot right now.
What's his attitude like right now, Jason, being in the D League, trying to get back to the NBA, and he hopes with the New York Knicks?
It's really fascinating to try and gauge his attitude, and that he's always kept things kind of close to the vest. You talk to him, or, I talk to other media members in upstate New York about him, or, you talk to people who've covered the Westchester Knicks for the last couple nights, and Jimmer doesn't say a whole lot. He never has been an incredibly quote-worthy athlete. I mean, even when he was in his prime with Jimmer Mania, he's always a nice kid to talk to, don't get me wrong, and, he's forthright to a degree, but he's never been somebody who's going to lay it all out there and keep his emotions on his sleeve or anything like that. But this is a guy who's been yanked around a lot. I almost compared a lot to Alex Smith, who was a former number 1 pick with the Utah Utes and his quarterback. He got yanked around with a number of offensive coordinators. Jimmer's gotten yanked around with a number of systems. I think the really interesting thing, guys, and I know you guys have seen him, Jimmer, back in town when he's playing against the Jazz, he's just outsized, if that's a word, at this level. I mean, I remember seeing him go against Alec Burks. And Jimmer, you see him even at the D-League level. Guys are just a lot bigger than him, that they can control his dribble. And Jimmer, the first game He had 37 points Monday, and it's with a lot of moves, trying to get into the lane, create just like he used to do at the Marriott Center and in the Mountain West Conference. And that stuff didn't fly on Wednesday. And obviously, like I mentioned, he was more tired and everything, but a team was ready to control him a little bit more. So he's trying to be a guy. Getting baskets like he did in the old days isn't going to fly. He's looking for an opportunity, like a lot of these D-leaguers are, to play spot minutes, to get on a roster and show what he can do, and they really need him. The Knicks, that is. I think they would promote him if he's a guy that can kind of come in for a few minutes, maybe take a shot, but also draw some attention and set up guys. I was really most impressed yesterday, when he had a play when he set up a big fella. Jimmer got into the paint and then flipped the ball behind him, and Jordan Bashinsky, a former Arizona State player who also happens to be LDS, actually, had a big slam dunk. So he can do little things. I think they like having his attitude. He's great with kids. He'll be great in the community as long as he's at Westchester. So there's a reason teams want him. But I don't know his immediate future. He might have to be in the D-League for a while, and I think you start to see him get more offers internationally. I don't know if he's talked to Travis Hansen or anything like that, or other BYU guys have taken that route, but I think there may be some great lucrative opportunities that he'd have to at least consider, because certainly the money would be a lot better.
Do Knicks fans and or people in Westchester and New York, I don't know the population there, do they want Jimmer on the Knicks? Are they excited about Jimmer being there?
I think they want anybody who can win. I don't think, put it this way, Jerem, Jimmer is not as polarizing in Westchester as he would have been in Utah had he signed on with the Jazz. You know, I think there was obviously a Utah Utes fan coalition that probably would not have wanted Jimmer there. There may be NBA fans who would have said, hey, we want a different point guard, different off shooting guard, whatever. But I think Knicks fans, I just don't think Jimmer's name plays like that. I think there's a lot of people who want that kid to play well. It was interesting. I ended up talking to a guy he's a college student, is from Westchester, which is basically, it's probably maybe 500,000 people, the county itself. It's just north, maybe even more probably, north of New York City. Talked to a college kid, and he was wearing a blue number 32 Jimmer Fredette jersey, and had no ties to BYU or Glens Falls. He was raised in that area north of New York City, and just loved Fredette's game. Said he loved it because, hey, it was a relatable guy who wasn't the fastest guy in the court, wasn't the biggest, tallest guy in the court, but had an incredible shot and had an incredible senior season. So I think there's still people who dream of seeing that Fredette again, but Jimmer's just, even when he goes on the court, guys, he's not the same player as far as I just remember seeing Jimmer go to the Huntsman Center or, Viejas Arena at San Diego State, and there was just an aura about him. And I can't say he's got that at this level anymore. I think he warms up into games. Certainly it's getting used to Westchester and what they do. They're running that triangle offense just like Phil Jackson and the Knicks organization are trying to do. So he's certainly trying to fit in with teammates, assist them, those kinds of things. But that aura isn't quite nearly the same as it used to be.
Follow him at Hark the Franchuck. Jason, it's been great to have you on the show. Our de facto Jimmer correspondent, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, I'm absolutely okay with that. No restraining orders were involved. It's just us JFs have got to stick together when we move around the country here.
You got it. Jason, thanks for the time.
Always great talking to you guys. Have a great one.